part 6. I've got to make this one extremely quick because I have a race in GBG that I've committed to be at. Purpose of this collection is to print expansion number 6. We've prepared the goods building ahead of time. That's the primary goal. The secondary goal is to upgrade some housing. And we should have enough resources to do that. Our happiness is on point. We have a small buffer in order to upgrade either a couple tile houses or plant a villa, as well as an amphitheater in the flex space that we're about to create. A couple different options there. I have been burning up some troops, so I'm down to 27 out of the 40 archers that I had, and then I think I've killed one ballista, so I had 30 ballista. I'm down to 29 now. So we've had some expenses, but we're ready to collect. Everything that we prepared in the last round has set us up to make this collection without manipulating happiness or anything like that. Let's see what we end up with. A pretty healthy amount, and pretty balanced again this round. That's really what we're trying to maintain at this point. We need 100,000 resources spent is going to be the next expansion. So remember from phase 5 that we had some iron to piggyback off of from our initial setup. So that was the last camp that we planted, and there's some strategy behind that as well. So if you actually go through my goods production, I piggyback off of jewelry, which is 4x3. I'm going to exaggerate the dimension a little bit. And then we piggyback off of cloth, which is 3x4 on the second collection. And this is a dimension that we wouldn't want to replace with a tailor. This is a dimension that we could replace with a butcher, but as the season goes on, we don't want to be making those changes, and we probably won't even have butcher at all. So the final goods building that we piggyback off of is the iron foundry, which is 3x3, and in later stages we'll be able to interchange this building with the legionnaires camp. Does that make sense? So the order that I run these goods buildings in is also important. We have 156, which is actually overkill. I printed one too many. But we should have enough for an expansion. It only costs 130, so I printed one too many. I think there was some lag maybe on my end. Originally, I was looking at this location for the expansion. I would have to delete or rearrange one tile house to run a road behind this cottage. So theoretically, if I relocated this tile house, it would be into this group, and I would be able to add one additional tile house and then extend this road down. That was the original location that I was looking for. But looking at this left side, just with all the obstacles on it, I probably won't build that direction. If I build this expansion, which is what I'm going to do, it's what I've decided to do, I can actually plant 2 additional tile houses and still leave this one in place, without creating wasted space on this group right here. Still maintains the disconnected archer, and eventually we will use this space for, I'm going to keep this house in that location permanently for this city design, and a lot of that is based on where the obstacles are at. So when this is all said and done, I think I'm going to end up with a really lopsided H pattern. So I am going to get that top expansion up here and run this second farm in the same pattern. This expansion looks good, so I'm going to end up with something like this. So it's like a lopsided H. where this should actually be here, but it's kind of a little gimpy, I guess. That's going to be the layout that I end up in this season. And like I've said in previous videos, the extra expansions that we're adding at this point are really not location specific. These are designed to be more houses, or more triumphant arches and more towers in the end game. That's the end strategy. So after I replace this butcher with a farm, that would be the top of the farm, bottom of the farm, I still have room for the triumphant arch below that. So we will end up adding probably 2 or 3 more arches. I have enough for one right now, but it wouldn't leave me the resources that I want to make the changes that I'm trying to make this round. We have enough resources for a villa as well. Not gonna do that though, just because it would deplete basically everything that I have available. I am gonna slide my archer back into this location. I'm gonna print at least 2. Let's see what we've got left after that. At least 2 though. And that's probably good for this round. We had the resources for a villa, but it would deplete all my supplies. So at this point, we're going to plant 2 more houses. Let's check our happiness real quick. We're going to plant 2 cottages. We have enough euphoria to sustain 1 cottage, right? So at the beginning of next collection, we'll delete 2 tile houses to achieve happiness, make the collection, and then plant arch number 4 behind that bottom butcher. So cottage, at this point I'm going to try and actually regroup my deletable houses into kind of the perimeter of the city, just in case I don't have the ability to rearrange those. So these will be ready for our next collection. I'm going to stop it here. I've got to do a couple fights for the team real quick. I'm going to stop it here, but I'll bounce back and do the resource collection breakdown on the next round. Let's go over collection for the upcoming round though, just so we can kind of budget what we're going to need. I am probably going to need to print some more ballista archers in the near future. Not a huge emergency for next collection, so probably stick to the original plan for next collection, which is to get our 4th arch, farm number 1, and then if we do have resources left over, let's upgrade some housing, because we're going to delete these 3 tile houses on the right side are kind of flex space in this adaptation. So we are going to delete some of that, so we want to increase the housing that we do have permanently planted. So let's crunch some numbers on our upcoming collection. This is cool. So for the first time since opening day ever, really, we'll get more coin than supply on our upcoming collection. So we'll get 211,000 coin, 200,000 supplies. That's pretty cool. On the upcoming collection, we already have 65,000 coin in the bar, so we'll be able to buy a complete farm without issue, as well as use some of these coin resources to upgrade housing, and that's like a 6,000 coin expense. Most of that is supplies that we're spending, so that'll actually balance out pretty well. The farm is pretty cheap to plant on the supply metric, so we're going to use most of our coin on the farm, most of our supply on upgrading housing. We'll have a happiness imbalance on the round after that, but that's the purpose of this flex space. We won't have the resources to plant an arch, but we will be able to delete 1, 2, 3 tile houses and plant an amphitheater if needed. So that should actually play out pretty well. And I mean, when I say imbalanced, this is imbalanced in the sense that they're not the exact same quantity, but pretty well balanced in the grand scheme of things, right? this is phase 6, so this is my 5th collection. This is Saturday night, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This is day number 3 in QI. Just for comparison, if you guys have a better system, like I said, please let me know. But I think my system is pretty well dialed in. On a side note too, roads do cost resources, right? And these temporary roads that I have planted here are just to get the coin collection from the upcoming round, delete the houses, shift the butcher, plant the amphitheater, arch, whatever we need to do. But roads are 1,000 a piece, so it's foolish to delete these at your collection. Whatever you're trying to gain out of having those 2 temporary tile houses, you're gonna waste by deleting 4 roads that cost 1,000 a piece. Does that make sense? So, word to the wise. Alright guys, good night. Phase 7 coming up tomorrow. At this point, it's pretty slow and steady. Once we get some farms and villas planted, we'll be able to crank out a ridiculous amount of resources every collection. Even looking at the new map with the troop donation pinch points, that won't be an issue. So, talk to you soon.